Welcome to the OAPN Podcast with your host, Adarsh Sakare. No bullshit, no cuts. 100% raw conversations with 0% fucks to give. We don't encourage the consumption of alcohol, but if you want to open up a cold one while you watch this, it's not a bad idea.
Welcome to episode number 86 of On a Personal Note with Adarsh Sakare. Yet another day where we're shooting pretty late. Not too late, but yeah, quite late. But here we are, excited about listening about another journey. And on 85, we had Mahir here. And I think Mahir was one of those guys, it was almost destined to be meeting us. I think it was a great time sitting down with Mahir and, listen to him speak about his journey, and we are sure that he's on to bigger things now. And before I speak more about today's guest, let's say hi to Shilpi Kulshrestha.
Hi.
Hi, Shilpi. How are you today?
I'm good.
Thanks.
I'm good because I'm here.
Thanks for making it.
Yeah, obviously.
I think we're always happy when people make the time.
Obviously. Anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Shilpi is here. I think Shilpi's had an interesting journey, and it gives me this impression that there are sides of Shilpi that's probably less known.
Maybe.
I don't know why. It just gives me the impression that there are sides of Shilpi that's probably less known. And social media is such a place that you can go completely right and wrong at the same time.
Absolutely.
Right? I just feel like that's what this is going to be about. And usually I'm able to draw an impression about someone.
Okay.
But I know there's more to the impression I've drawn.
Very curious to know what's the impression you've drawn.
Yeah. No, I think it's nice. So there is this side of Shilpi that's, screaming out the place that she's worked at, and which has been Byju's. And she's had a journey there. And of course, we're going to be talking about that. But there is also this side of Shilpi, which is more of a personal journey. And while her presence on social media is positive and it's motivating, and more than anything, there is this wild side to Shilpi. There is this wild side to Shilpi that it's very mysterious almost that we're going to be talking about. She's had her fair share of organizing events of different nature, and I think that's something we're interested to explore. And thanks to Akhil for suggesting Shilpi's name, and thanks to you for almost accepting it immediately to be here. So if you know Shilpi, this is a chance for you to probably get to know a side of her that maybe even you don't. And if you've probably just come across Shilpi's Instagram off late and you've followed her, this is a chance for you to get context for some of the posts that she puts up. So yeah, that's Shilpi. Welcome, Shilpi.
Thank you. Very curious to know what this wild side of mine is and what impression you have. And mysterious girl. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea this is the persona that I was putting.
Yeah, I mean, that's that, right? I mean, that's what we got. That's what we got.
Yeah.
So how are things? I mean, how would you rate life right now out of a 10?
Oh, so I have a new philosophy.
Let's go.
I don't rate my life out of how happy I am, because I think it's very relative. I only rate about how much potential I'm living up to.
Oh, okay.
So am I living up to my full potential at the moment? Maybe an 8. That's what I would say.
Okay.
How happy or sad I am is like a everyday thing. So very, very relative.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice way to rate how life's going, depending on what potential you can live it at.
Yeah, one life, right? I mean,
One life, yeah. Do you feel like you're in a good place?
I think I'm in a space where I'm fine. I finally feel like my brain is open, because when you're working with one place for a long time, you're just focused on this one thing. You focus on targets and sales and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And now when I'm not focusing on it that much, I feel like I suddenly have all these options and all these ideas, and I feel like the world is an oyster, and it's just so many pearls everywhere. And it's really nice to have that openness.
So what you feel like there are probably things that you didn't have time to explore? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I have severe ADHD, so I have always explored a bunch of things. But now I'm actually, I mean, I guess I can say it now, but I'm in the process of leaving Byju's.
Sure.
I mean, I've been there for 9.5 years.
Yeah.
So now, like a lot of things are coming up, and especially now with social media and etc. There's just, I never realized how many, like you're doing a podcast. Look at that, right? So there's just so many things to do. There's so many ways to, cool things to do. I mean, you don't have to be a doctor, engineer anymore. You could just do anything you want. I'm so excited for Gen Z, actually.
That's true.
Yeah, I wish I was born in
Gen Z?
2000s.
Oh, wow, that's true.
Yeah.
So, Kulshrestha is Kulshrestha or Kulshrestha?
Kulshrestha is like, you know how you say Rama. I mean, I'm not compared to gods, but you know how you say Rama and Krishna, but it's actually Krish.
Okay.
Ram.
I get it. I get where you're going.
Yeah.
So Kulshrestha is it a name of a place? Is it a name of a community?
Oh my God, I can't believe you asked me this. That's very embarrassing. Okay. I do not subscribe to this thought at all.
Okay.
But Kul means caste.
Okay.
Shresht means best.
Oh, it's like a best caste. Wow. You're walking
best
with
caste. I don't care about caste at all.
Wow.
That's my surname. I do not subscribe to that at all. I can't believe you asked me that question.
Look at that, right? Look at that. Look at walking with something like you don't subscribe for. But I'm glad you don't subscribe for that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I'm not against some of these things. They were made for certain reasons, for certain times.
No.
And so be it. No, so be it. Never gonna judge. Never gonna judge. So that's nice. And you've been in Bangalore since you started Byju's.
Yes.
But
right out of college.
you were born in.
I was born in...
I've never asked anyone this question, by the way, but there's a reason I'm asking this. But
I was born in this tiny city called Bhilwara in Rajasthan because my dad was posted there.
Yeah. And what's dad into?
My dad's my parents are doctors, but he's in the army. He's a colonel in the army. I mean, he retired now, but yeah, so... That's where I was born. But then people are like, oh, are you Rajasthani? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Papa was just posted there. And then I went to a bunch of places.
And you have siblings?
I have a younger brother.
Okay. Yeah. And so, the stereotype of being an army child is very true.
What is the stereotype?
You tell me. You tell me. Is there a stereotype and do you belong to one?
Yeah, we're supposed to be brats, right? Okay, yeah, maybe I was. I had to.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so while growing up, I don't think the army is like that anymore.
Sure.
But it used to be where we had a lot of help. We had a lot of people helping us out. So when I went to college and I was on my own and no one was there to like help me out with my clothes and everything,
Wow.
It was a little jarring.
Oh, is it?
Because when you're in the army, you grew up in the army camp, and then you can wear whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, you can walk around at 1 a.m, and you're absolutely safe no matter which part of the country you're in. But suddenly you're out and you're like, oh, there are people who are like eve teasing you and all of that. It's a sudden shock. But then we were never allowed to eat on the couch. We always had to sit on the dining table. We always had to I had to peel a banana with a fork and knife. That's what I was taught.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm a lefty, so that's why now I never use spoons because I was not allowed to use a spoon in my left hand. So I just use forks. So that's the kind of life I kind of...
You said a lot of interesting things.
Okay.
It's now I have like a lot
you don't know which one to pick up on.
Yeah. I think being a lefty is... interesting in itself. Yeah. There's huge research on lefties.
Yeah.
Have you read up?
Yeah, but I'm also slightly I play sports with my right, but I write with my left. So I'm slightly maybe ambidextrous. But yeah, you're supposed to be creative. But I don't think I'm that creative. So I don't know where the research is going. I think they're way more creative.
Yeah, but it's definitely something. I mean, I've tried to read a lot. I've not got it, but there's something. No, I'm not. But I have a lot of friends who are lefties, and turns out they're all pretty awesome. And I don't know what.
Wow. now.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because when I was in 9th grade, my Hindi teacher refused to correct my paper because he called me evil because I write with my left hand. So please go tell him that.
If you're listening,
Yeah.
please relax, bro.
It's like, you're evil, you write with your left hand, blah, blah, blah.
I think it's pretty cool.
But,
And you also said there were these table manners. There were these table manners. And is that a thing in every household if you
in
belong
the
to an army household?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, they might not tell you again because, it's not a fun thing to do when every day you're sitting at a dining table and doing that. Maybe it was a little bit more for me because when I was growing up, my dad was commanding. So we had a lot of
Process.
No, and we had a lot of bhaiyas in the house. So you have to maintain that decorum in the house.
Okay.
So that's why...
And mom was home.
Mom's a doctor, so she's but a civilian doctor, so she
Okay.
was also always working. So I think I was not really brought up by my parents in a way.
Okay.
I was brought up by teachers.
Pretty much with help.
Yeah.
Oh wow, then it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And dad was strict.
No. So my parents have this philosophy that you should never shout at a child or hit a child.
Oh, you never got hit?
Oh, hit? I don't think I ever got shouted at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so my dad had these weird rules where we would get like negative points if you did something bad. Or
You had like a leaderboard or what?
yeah, kind of. Not really, but like in his head. And we had all these fun rules of, things like that, but never got shouted at, never. And I think it had both good and bad to it because now we are less scared of taking risks, but we are also a little bit more who gives a
who gives a fuck?
okay, I'm allowed to say that. Who gives a fuck kind of attitude, which doesn't always work. So
Doesn't.
yeah.
So, what? There was no fear of,
There was no fear, yes.
There was no fear, some of us grew up with a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Like
Were you hit?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
What was the worst way you've ever been hit? I want to
I would come back home and I would have done something and I would get slapped.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, right? I discussed this with my mother now, and somehow I've maybe began to agree that was the way.
Yeah, you're a naughty kid though.
Yeah, too much, right? I would really be a brat and I would do mean things. And I would do mean things to people. I would break people's stuff and things like that. I don't even know why, but yeah, somewhere.
Okay,
Don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm going to sound really horrible for saying
Sure.
it, but I think it's like a vicious cycle. I think it's residual.
Yeah.
You get hit, then you're angry, then you take it out on someone.
It's there. It does exist. And mom's gonna watch this. So, we've had this discussion a lot in the past. But anyway, so you didn't get hit.
No, not at all.
You didn't get hit.
No, my mom would go to, once my brother was almost hit by his teacher, my mom ended up at school and shouted at the teacher for hitting him.
No, it's a sweet way of bringing up a child, I think. I think there's this way of saying, I've told you what you need to do and here's your life, right? You figure it out.
And then when your parents are disappointed with you, then it just feels really bad. Because you know that they'll never be angry, but then there's this intense disappointment in them. And then you kind of strive for that.
Sure.
So,
and you grew up with any expectations? I mean, were there expectations that Shilpi needs to grow up to be this and that? And what were some of those expectations?
So when I was 3 years old and I was in nursery, my mom was trying to teach me 29, 20, 39, 30. And I kept saying 29, 20, 39, 30. And that day my mom decided she's not going to make me study at all. And she's just going to make me do BA and get me married to some rich guy. So that was my mom's expectations. But my dad, no. My dad wanted me to get into an IIT, do the whole... they're doctors, so we were not allowed to be doctors at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought it's the other way.
No. They're like, if you are going to be a doctor, you'll have to study till you're 30 and there's no life, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's my parents' thought process. But I'm glad I didn't do that because I don't think I'm capable of studying that much. But my dad was pretty... Not so much with my brother, but with me, he really wanted me to.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah, because I'm older, maybe. My brother got the free pass. He did whatever he wanted. Yeah.
It's always like that.
Yeah.
So then what did you choose in school? Did you have So what were you? You were an average kid?
No, I was a smart kid.
Oh, you were the smart kid?
I got,
wow.
In CBSE boards, I got 92%. So,
oh, you're
in 12th grade. So, yeah.
Wow.
So I was a smart kid.
Yeah.
I was a nerd. I used to have 2 chotis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Complete nerd. Loved physics. Loved reading books. In fact, the only time my dad would get annoyed with me is because we have a lot of army parties, and I would just want to sit at home and read books because I was such a big introvert. And my dad would be like, no, you have to come to parties, you have to come to these, you have to go dance on like the dancing area. And I would be like, no, I don't want to go, I just want to read books. And then I would cry, and then I would write my dad sorry notes for not going to the party. And then I would hide books in my washroom so I can read them. So.
And you went, so how many schools did you go to?
Oh, I went to 12 different schools.
Over 10 years?
10 schools. No, wait, so, wow, why am I confused? 12 schools, 10 cities, yeah.
12 schools, 10 cities,
Yeah.
over 10 years, you're saying?
Yeah, over more than 10 years, no?
More than 10 years, including 11th and 12th.
Including 11th and 12th.
And you realized, did that work for you?
Oh, I loved it because then you could do whatever you wanted. No one's going to remember. Like you could do...
That's a way to look at it.
Because you could just like, you could do whatever shit you want. You could be the naughtiest kid. You do whatever you want. Like, no one's going to remember. And that time when I was growing up, there was no social media.
Sure.
I mean, so no one's going to remember. We had landlines. I think phones came out when I was in 9th grade or something. So the Nokia something. So no one's ever going to remember what you do. So you just, every school, I think I had a different personality.
Oh, wow. You were just experimenting.
I was just experimenting. It was fun. I was like, oh, this didn't work out in last school. Let me try being the cool kid this time.
But how did it work out for mom though? How did she jump cities?
Oh yeah, so she would join a new hospital every time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And she was okay with that?
Not so much. Now she's like, oh, I've worked in like 40 different hospitals, blah, blah, blah. But then now she heads Mayo Hospital. She's the MD there. So she's got this opportunity because
of what she did?
What she did. Because she has so much experience. So I guess somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
And school apart from academics, was there things that you excelled at?
So I was in Kendriya Vidyalaya in my 9th and 10th grade, and I won a gold medal in tennis in nationals.
Wow, what, really?
Yeah.
Congrats,
but Kendriya
dude.
Vidyalaya nationals,
No,
not
but
like
still,
all nationals.
I mean, KV is still huge.
Yeah, but just saying, there's a difference.
Yeah, there is, of course.
Yeah. So, but again, tennis, my dad's like big into sports. So my dad would force us to play tennis morning, evening. So we hated it. So the moment I won that, after that, I don't think I've ever picked a tennis racket again. I'm just like, I'm done. You got what you wanted. Now I play squash, but tennis, that's the end of my
You let
tennis.
it stay there.
Yeah.
And what did you do in college?
I did engineering. I went to Manipal.
Oh, how was Manipal? Let's talk about Manipal.
So I don't know if you guys still
What is your Manipal story?
I'll tell you what Urban Dictionary says. Have you heard of Urban Dictionary?
Yeah.
So it has definitions of different things and fun definitions. So the dictionary, the definition for Manipal is where rich parents send their spoiled kids to do drugs, to listen to music, get laid in the process, and maybe get a degree.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a place we all need to go to.
So actually...
Where the fuck did I go?
Where did you go?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Did you go to an IIT?
No, I went to Joseph's. But no, Joseph's is nice. Shout out.
So I actually dropped a year before Manipal. And I went to Kota, Bansil classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So I got all these good marks, great marks in 12th grade and
Kota
stuff.
was your dream?
No, I don't know. My dad's like, no, you have to get into an IIT. This is what you're supposed to do. So then I went to Kota. I feel like you're like, oh my God, there's so much to talk about.
This is dropping bombs, dude.
Yeah, so then I spent a year there. It was interesting. And that's when I decided either I get into some top 5 IIT or I'm going to go to the chillest college ever because I can't ever be with these people again, with such nerds ever. I'm so sorry, but that's how I felt. And then one of my friends who was in school with me, she hadn't dropped, so she directly went to Manipal and she's like, dude, this college is crazy. I can see people making out here and there and this is shit.
Let's make out in the open.
I'm like, I need to go to that college. And then I got a good enough rank.
So were people actually making out in the open? I've never been to Manipal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
everywhere.
oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Though,
yeah,
but,
no, you are. We are allowing it.
But thank you. Thank you for the permission. But I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's sweet.
Manipal. But I don't know if you know, but Manipal also has one of the best alumni I've ever seen. For example, Satya Nadella and a lot of great people have come from Manipal because Manipal now has co-ed hostels, for example.
Yeah.
And like, for example, in VIT, we can't even look at another person from another sex. But there, everything is very open. People are very open. And they let you be, and there's a lot of extracurriculars. So people really, I feel like people really come out of their shell and really find themselves. So it's a great college to go to.
No, I think, to be honest, right, all jokes apart, and I've, the last few years been to some of the institutions which have similar thought processes.
Right.
And I feel like that's the way to go, right?
BITS Goa. BITS Goa.
Oh, it's similar?
Yeah. They don't have attendance.
Oh, wow.
Like, you can never attend college at all. And one of the best alumni in India.
Yeah, I think it's this thought process of saying you're coming into this college which has no boundaries, which is pretty much life, right?
Exactly.
Which is pretty much life.
Yeah.
And then they're saying, we're going to be doing our job, which is teaching you all. And you take what you need to.
Exactly.
And when you remove those boundaries, you're suddenly more inclined to drawing everything that's given, right?
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. And more, I think over the last few years, I've analyzed some of these institutions, and I feel like, that's the way to be. That's just how life is.
Exactly.
Right? Why would you want to impose things on anyone? Like, you do you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're probably making out on the college campus, but you know what?
I did.
No, I didn't mean you.
I know.
I didn't mean you.
Just disclaimer.
Yeah. Just letting you all know. But then you close the gate and they head out. You're still going to make out with whoever the fuck you want to.
Exactly.
Right? You'd rather do that while you're studying, maybe.
I read about this recently, like in school. While you're studying. Sorry,
she treated it as so casual. Of course. Anyway.
But I read this recently, like people who do really well. What are you supposed to do in school? You're supposed to be very obedient. You're not supposed to talk back to your teacher. You're supposed to be quiet, etc., etc. All the skills that require you to be a really good student in school are the exact opposite skills you need to do very well when you start working. You need to be outgoing. You need to talk to people. You need to treat your boss like your friend. When you do all of that, you do really well. So it's opposite skills.
True.
Yeah.
Let's just take that bit, right? How you treat your lecturer, for example.
Yeah.
If you learn to treat your lecturer as this person you can't approach, as this person that you can't have a casual conversation with, you're going to take that to your workplace, and then your boss is never going to be looking at you.
Exactly.
Because you're never going to, you haven't learned to build a rapport with a person who's professionally more experienced than you. Right. It's as simple as that.
You don't know how to look them in the eye and talk to them because school teaches you to just like keep your face down, keep your hands behind your back, walk in a straight line. Yeah. But at work, you have to do something different.
Yeah. So I've heard some of these stories of Manipal, and it is what it is. So Manipal was nice.
Yeah.
Manipal was nice. And so what? How many years there?
Oh, it was a 4-year course that I completed in 5 years.
In 5 years. So where did that 1 year fly away?
Oh, where did it fly away? I wish I remembered. But so I got into Manipal.
Sure.
Been a really good student till Manipal. Did really well. And then I joined Manipal. Mm-hmm. All this freedom was given to me.
Sure.
And didn't study from day one.
Then it began.
And the first semester I got 1 back, which was in electronics.
Wow.
And my branch was electronics. Mm-hmm. So that's when I should have realized I should not be in this branch. But when you're joining engineering, you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't even know what branches are. I still don't know. I'm an electronics engineer. I don't know if I can fix a microwave or not. Because we studied microwaves, but I think those are different microwaves, but I'm not sure. Okay, whoever's here will never hire me as an engineer, I think. So I think that's there. So then I never did well in college at all. I did take up a lot of extracurriculars. I was part of the Rotary Club. I was part of the Dramatics Club. I was part of different clubs. So I did a lot of extracurriculars, but in college I used to just come, sit on the last bench, pass out. And my teachers hated me.
Wow.
And then I actually, in my last year, just before I was about to enter 4th year, I didn't clear. I actually got a back because of 1 credit and a year back. So that was really difficult. It was like the lowest point of my life. And I didn't tell my parents because, my parents always, and this whole time I told my parents some other grade that I was actually getting. So they had no idea that I was a 6-pointer. They thought, oh, she's getting 8-pointer, whatever.
Going through.
Because at that time they used to send some email which my dad never checked. So actually, so then that happened, and I went through some other personal shit in the same time. Boyfriend cheating on you. This, that.
This guy cheated on you?
Yeah.
Shit.
Long story. Let's not get there. But there was a lot of personal issues that were going on, and then I got that year back, and I don't know what I was doing after that. My parents didn't know for the first 2 months, and I had no classes to go to, and I think I would get up at like 4 in the morning, have no idea, and I was like, at one point, I wondered, what is the point of living? I mean, it's that bad. I mean, obviously, I've never gone to that kind of extent, but it was...
You didn't actionize anything?
Oh, no. It was far from it, but it just did feel like I was very comfortable knowing that I might, at the age of 25, I would have no job and I would be on the street somewhere, maybe drugged up or something.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, I was like, hey, maybe this is my life.
Yeah.
And I had this weird theory where I was like, hey, the whole point of life is to be happy. And if I'm happy in this moment now, doing whatever I'm doing, drinking, blah, 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 whatever, then why should I struggle now to be happy later? So why should I study? Why should I do anything? I should just do whatever makes me happy right now. And whenever I'm 25, 26, who cares? I'll figure out how to be happy then. Which I don't think that's the right way to look at life. But that's what I thought at the time. Yeah. So that happened.
Which year? 20?
This was in 2013.
Yeah, it's been a decade.
Yeah, it's been a decade. And then my dad randomly opened an email and found out that I got a year back. That I flunked a year.
Okay.
But they didn't shout at me. They didn't scream. Nothing. My mom flew down the same day. And she's like, are you okay? Are you fine? I'm just so sad. And I have no idea how did you live the last 2 months knowing this information. And I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there for you. So that's what she said. And that really kind of broke me. And I was like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? You know? And then from there I kind of picked up. After a few months, I went to Kodaikanal.
Oh, there you go. And magic happened.
Magic happened. Which actually changed my life.
There you go. There you fucking go.
Yeah. After that, I quit drinking. I quit smoking. I quit everything for the next 2-3 years.
Okay.
And I'll tell you how I joined Byju's. But I quit everything. I cleared 13 exams in 6 days. Morning, evening. I cleared all of them in 6 days because I was like, I need to sort my life out because of
magic. Yeah, let's call it magic, right? Because the people who get it will get it, and the people who shouldn't be getting it won't be getting it. So let's talk about magic a little.
Okay.
But before magic, so there was this phase of addiction. That's what it is, right?
Absolutely.
And
I think it has something to do with having ADHD. ADHD personalities are severely addictive personality types. Yeah, maybe. That's what I've heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there was this addiction, and you get, I think it leads to this compulsive behavior.
Yes.
Where you're just indulging all the time, right?
Yes.
And you have ways to tell yourself that it's okay to indulge.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
You find excuses for yourself.
Yeah, you find excuses for yourself. Which is...
No, anyone in the world could tell you anything. At one point, I stopped picking up my best friend's calls.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I don't want to listen to it. Just give me some advice and they'll tell me some gyan.
Yeah, so it's been 4 months since I stopped drinking. And it was 10 years since I think the initial 3-4 years it was just drinking like once a week or with friends. And I think after that it started. And there were multiple reasons why alcohol, kind of took over, if I may put it up like that. And I mean, even today, to be honest, I feel like I've always drank very happily. Like I've always celebrated. Yeah. Right? Every time I sat to drink, I was happy. Maybe I would say like 10% of the times, maybe I wasn't. Right. But 90% of the times I was just celebrating life. Yeah. Like just drinking alcohol and maybe chilling being with happy. People, watching something. Yeah, being happy. But then I can't do that without alcohol as well.
Right.
And somewhere maybe that was my reason, or rather excuse, if I may say so. And addiction is real, and you don't know when it becomes an addiction.
When did you realize?
Oh, now, like this year.
How?
I think early this year. I think. I mean, I went like 2 straight weeks drinking every day, and I was there was no reasons to drink. Right. I think I ran out of reasons.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was. I ran out of reasons, and it was clear that there wasn't any reason to drink. But yeah, I would be drinking. I would find an excuse.
Yeah.
I became mechanical, and it didn't feel the way it used to. And a similar thing, right? Like you start pushing people away. You don't want to really build like healthy relationships. You feel like you're enough, and just a bad space. And then like there were times when they were day drinking, and I always felt like if you drink during the day, there's an issue.
Were you drinking alone?
There were points, and and all of that just kind of made me feel like it's done. And then magic happened.
Oh,
yeah.
What a story!
yeah. And that's what
I'll give you a mind high five.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? So I think the detox had begun, and the intention was not to actually quit.
Yeah, same.
I didn't go into the trip saying that I'm going to drop so and so things. And I go there, and it's also the first time, right? I'd never tried it before. It's the first time, and it's a really nice story, and I want to hear what happened with you as well.
Yes.
So of course the first 1 hour or 1.5 hours went in just like figuring out what this is, and am I really enjoying this trip and things like that. And then I was pondering on thoughts, and then the thought was, okay, what about alcohol, right?
Ooh.
It just came.
Right.
And I said, okay, here you go, right? Let's focus on this.
Okay.
What are we doing with this?
Yeah.
And I immediately knew that it's done. Like, quit it. It's done. And then I said, how am I going to remember this? How am I going to remember that I've made like a decision when the trip is over?
Yeah.
So I used to wear this bracelet.
Okay.
I used to wear this bracelet. And I said, and I used to wear a ring as well.
Okay.
And I'd worn this ring for the last, say, 10 years, which is pretty much the time when I started drinking.
Oh.
Right? I said, okay, I'm going to remove this ring, which I've never removed. And I kept it aside. And I made like a mental note saying,
this is why you're not wearing the ring.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And
That's
then
a beautiful story.
after the trip, I see it and I'm like, oh shit, I quit. I quit. And I was like jumping alone in the middle of the hill like,
no way.
Fuck, I did it. Yeah. So I think magic does happen.
Wow.
So how was magic for you?
No, but I want to know a little bit more. So like after that, you never got the urge to drink again? Or?
Yeah, I think what also helped with this was the book, The Easy Way to Stop Drinking.
Okay.
So I'd also read that. So Alan Carr, The Easy Way to Stop Drinking, he writes this book about how to stop smoking.
Okay.
But because that worked for millions across the world, he writes this book about drinking. And it's pretty solid.
Check it out. Yeah.
It's pretty solid. And there's almost this guarantee that if you want to quit smoking or quit drinking, you read this book and you're done.
Are you serious?
You're just done. Because at the end of the book, he tells you, hey, you know what? Why don't you go have yourself a drink? And you will not feel like touching that glass ever again.
Who is this magician?
He is. And I mean, he has centers across the world now. Of course, he's no more, but that was that. But anyway, coming back to your story, did you go into Kodai expecting like a life change, or what was it for you?
For me, it was my cousin's birthday and she'd call me there, and we just went there to chill, have a good time with no expectations whatsoever. And we... I had the worst trip of my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So we were in this bungalow, which had like a fireplace and paintings all over. And 1 or 2 hours in it, everything started melting.
Yeah.
The paintings are melting.
You did it during the night?
in the evening. Yeah. That was bad.
That was bad. Yeah.
And
you start during the day.
Exactly. And then the fireplace, I felt like the whole house is catching fire.
Sure.
And it was really bad. And I thought people around me are making faces. And I'm like, can you stop making faces? And they're like, I'm not making faces. And I'm feeling really cold. And I'm cuddled up in a blanket. And I'm like in a fetal position, feeling really, really cold. And I just want this to end somehow. And then as it started going down, that time we didn't have Instagram, we had Facebook. So I opened Facebook.
On the trip?
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I was just trying to
Don't use your phone.
I was just trying to distract myself from feeling cold. And these guys had left me alone to go get food.
Okay.
And I'm just like shivering. And I'm like, what do I do? Is like distract yourself. So I opened my phone for like 2 minutes. And this is when I just got my year back. And this was my last year. So all my friends are getting placed and they're celebrating. It's all over Facebook. And then I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What the fuck? I'm disappointing my parents, this and that. And, they've been so nice to me, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I didn't have a good trip at all. And I've gone back to Korea, but I've never.
Oh, really? That was the first and last?
That was the first and last.
Oh, dude.
But after that, I quit everything. And I just completely changed as a person. So.
Maybe that was what was.
They say, that's
required.
what magic wants you to do. It calls you and it changes you.
That's the trip you were
supposed to have.
Yeah, supposed to have, right? That's
no
nice.
idea what would have happened if I hadn't
During
gone to Korea.
Do you really feel like that's the impact it had?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and you're not being delusional about it.
No, because I'm telling you, I can see like how my life was before that. The kind of person I was and the kind of person I became after that. I mean, I've achieved whatever little I've achieved is because of making that change in my life.
Yeah. And I think it also it makes you think of these things, right? And I understand that you had a bad trip, but like we said, maybe that's the way it was supposed to be, and that's why some of these things are interesting to explore.
Yeah,
and that's why you got to be open to like just diving in.
Exactly. I mean, when people go to ayahuasca, they vomit out and they have like, but it changes their life, right?
Yeah.
So,
So got to be open. And you come back and you have these, like, okay, fuck this shit. I'm going to clear these exams and everything. And where does Byju's come in?
So at that time, the guy I was dating.
Okay.
He really wanted to. It's not called Byju's at that time. It's called Think and Learn. This is back in 2014. When they just raised their first 100 CR.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, there's this new company. I have to really join it, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, I had no placements because of my year back. So I'm like, okay, I'll come along with you to Bangalore. And I told my parents, hey, I got a job in Bangalore. I had no job in Bangalore. I just came along. And I told them that I got a job in Think and Learn. I have no idea why I said that. I was not prepared for it. And then he went to give the interview and he's like, come along with me. So I wore my formals. I had no idea what Think and Learn was. I had no idea Think and Learn is Byju's. I thought Think and Learn is some Australian company. I knew two words, B2B and B2C. I had no idea about anything else. I didn't know it was an edtech company, nothing. And then I was sitting outside and he's like, hey, by the way, he came and he got in like very professionally. Like he kept emailing the CEO. It's like, I really want to go get in. So that's how they got him in. And then he's like, oh, by the way, my girlfriend's sitting outside. Do you want to take her interview too? And they're like, yeah, okay, sure, get along. And then this guy took my interview. I had no idea. The interview was horrible. It tanked. But luckily, the person who took my interview was planning to leave in a month anyway. So apparently, he went inside and told them, this girl will not even last a month. I just took her just like that. So
talk about first impression. Wrong.
Because I didn't know anything. So it's okay. And then I joined, and then, like I said, because I wasn't drinking, smoking, I wasn't doing anything, and I just really wanted to prove, basically. And I wanted to completely sober, and I really wanted to prove myself.
Yeah.
So I was working 15 hours a day. I didn't take any Saturdays, Sundays off. I was working on 15th August. So I remember, like 15th August, my manager, who was the CEO for the last 8 years, he was my manager then. He's like, on 15th August, he's like, hey, I was an intern. He's like, you're converted, because he and I were the only people in office working. And I joined as a salesperson. I was, I think, one of the first sales hires in Byju's. Because we were only 30 people then. Our office was like maybe 2 times bigger than this.
That's quite a thing on the profile, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
So then I worked really hard, really hard, because I had to prove myself.
Yeah.
So that's how my journey
things started. And I mean, what, you were nailing these targets?
Oh yeah, I was. That's something I realized when I joined Byju. I was like, oh, I'm apparently really good at sales. So, so like, I think I did like 2 CR in a year myself, like in sales.
wow.
So, and this is before we had, forget the app, before that, we didn't even have tablets when I joined.
Yeah.
He was still
This is
teaching
like
live classes.
way back.
Way back. So earlier we were doing like maybe 2 CR, the whole team was doing. Here I was doing personally. So I think in 3 months only they made me a manager, and I had like 5-6 people reporting to me and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was good at sales. And you're just out of college, so you're just like, I was just talking to
You got
everyone
paid
nicely.
well?
I
mean, I don't need to know how
I
much
got
you got paid.
paid.
But you got
so I
paid
had
well?
like incentives for sales. So I made more money in my incentives than my actual
Then you're
pay.
fixed.
Yeah, because I was good at selling.
You were that great.
Not
And
that
also-
great, but
I mean, you were doing well.
Maybe it had something to do with me being in dramatics in college, but sales came naturally to me somehow. I don't know how.
I think it does come naturally to some people until you discover it.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so what was this hierarchical climb that you had? What did you start at? And
I started as a BDA, Business Development Associate, and now I am a Vice President of Business Development.
okay.
So it's been that only.
And how many promotions did that take?
Yeah, I went from BDA to manager, senior manager, some in the middle, then
Okay.
AVP, VP. Yeah, it was like every year I think I was getting promoted.
Wow.
So something like that. But after VP, it was like,
Yeah.
after VP, you don't get promoted for 3-4 years at least.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's how I was. But I think another thing that worked out for me, also one thing I realized, being good at sales and being a good manager are two very different things.
Yeah.
So when I had to start managing a team, because I'm a woman, empathy comes to me more naturally. Than to I'm not being sexist, but it was there, and that really helped me manage people. I understand them, and management is nothing. I don't think you can learn it from a book. Management is only psychology, understanding what makes a person tick, what makes a person absolutely sad, and if you can figure that out, if you can
Work around that.
if you can reach into what their actual aspirations are and get them to do that, then management is very easy. So I was able to do that. So my team went from 5 to 20, 30, 40. At one point I was handling 2,000 people.
What, really?
Yeah, it was. So
Wow. That's a lot of people.
that is a lot of people. But I also had hierarchies under me to help me with
To
that.
help you.
But it was always that. It was always treat everyone with as much empathy as you can and inspire them rather than. I don't think people really work to their potential if you scare them. If you scare them, they will only work till the point that they have to make do. But if you inspire them, they will always try to overachieve.
They'll overachieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty basic that a lot of people don't get.
Yeah, which is strange.
Because it's like imposing something is easy, but it's more short term.
Exactly.
It doesn't last too long.
Doesn't.
If you inspire them, then like things go on longer. So during these 9.5 years, life is pretty much Byju's, right?
Yes, at least for the first 6-7 years, life was only Byju's, and also because we were also going exponentially, right?
Yeah.
And I had to travel a lot. I was handling different markets. I was handling Tamil Nadu. I was handling Rajasthan. So every week I was taking like 4 or 5 flights. So there was really no time for anything else except for Byju's, and the whole country was divided into 4 or 5 VPs, and I was one of them. So you really have a lot of responsibility. So
you got like a lot of respect.
I mean, every market is different. For example, I loved working with the Tamil Nadu team because they're just amazing people. In Rajasthan, it was slightly difficult. They're great salespeople and everything, but I'm not so. Some people are not very comfortable with women leaders there because it's still slightly more patriarchal than South. So in South, and that's still fine. And there's in North India, if you call someone the C word or something, it's just banter. Like we say banter. Fuck, right? But like if you do it in a corporate environment, so I don't do that. But if people did that to each other, someone would record it and then it would become national news. So handling all that would be
a challenge.
Yeah.
And did you ever consider that there's more to life than Byju's?
I was really happy. I got a lot of offers from a lot of places. But I mean, Byju's was really nice to us. They would take us on these incentive trips, like sales incentive trips. So I have, for example, we went to London to see the World Cup final. We went to St. Petersburg to watch the football World Cup. We went to Turkey, stayed in a palace. So they really pampered us when they could, So it was, and Byju always had this dream where he's like, I want a world where children go to school just to play and then come back and study. So like so he had this dream, he had this vision, and he was really trying to change the world, and we subscribe to that thought.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah,
like
so I didn't
when a dream like that starts coming to reality and you get to be a part of it.
Exactly.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd not want to leave. Why would you want to leave? Because you're watching it grow from the ground up.
Exactly.
Right? And then, of course...
But then there were challenges in the middle also. But we always saw him bounce back. Always. In 2017 also, we had some bigger challenges than what we are now. But that time it was not in the media so much. But he always bounced back. And he's very, very inspiring. He has a vision. So it never felt like...
This wouldn't have been possible without it. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Come on.
For sure. And I was also very lucky. I didn't report to him. I reported to the CEO, or that time when I was AVP, I reported to the VP. And I got very lucky that I had great bosses as well. So I learned a lot from these bosses. They literally trained me on how to be a better human being. I remember the last CEO who was there. He taught me how to use Google Sheets. He taught me how to do addition and stuff. Imagine who's going to take out time to do all of that, right? So I was very lucky.
That's sweet. And dad and mom were happy with how things were going for you.
My dad and mom, in the first year of me joining Byju's, they had come to Bangalore and they're like, okay, we'll come to your office. And Byju and his wife, Divya, they actually took both of them to the room and for 1 hour spoke about me and said all nice things about me.
Wow.
So
it's quite a compliment.
That's that also says a lot about him. Yeah. For him to actually go out of his way to do that for a associate. I was a BDA that time.
Wow.
So,
and is there this feeling of is there a void?
There's I don't know if there's a void. I wouldn't say there's a void because as much as I loved working and everything, but I also feel like after a point my job had kind of become redundant.
Sure.
Because you've done the same thing for so long that you are not adding any value. And so I was not learning anything anymore.
Mechanical.
It becomes mechanical. So now I feel like, now that I'm leaving it, now I feel like again I can try different things, etc., etc. But I think it also comes a little bit with like a little bit of an imposter syndrome. I don't know if that also has anything to do with they say that women face imposter syndrome way more than
Can you
men.
explain imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome is where you feel that whatever you achieved is not, you don't actually deserve it. You're just lucky and you got it. So anytime anyone would ask me, oh, you're VP at Byju's, how did that happen? I would always be like, oh, I just got lucky. Right place, right time. But I didn't see any of my male colleagues saying that. They would always be like, hey, no, I did this, I did that, right? So I think it has, because I've seen a lot of women founders, CEOs also always starting with, I can do this, but, and men are always like, you know what, I've done this. So that also is there. But
was there ever and I mean, I think that leads us to our next question, right? Does Shilpi want something of her own? Does she want to build something?
I am actually working on something. It's in the creator economy space.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, are we allowed to talk about
it's called Snack Media, SNACC. So we refer to our influencers as snacks.
Snack. Oh, dude, let's talk about this.
Yeah. So I've actually already done 4-5 projects. We did Echoes of Earth. We did DGTL. We did Gin Explorers.
Why is Echoes of Earth so familiar?
It's the music festival that just happened last weekend.
Yeah, it's very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite music festival in India. So we provide influencers. They don't like that word. Creators.
That's another topic.
Yeah, creators for these festivals. So now
to do what?
To go make reels, market it. I mean, so when was the last time you bought something because you saw the TV ad? or you saw
never.
a billboard. Now
Never.
everything we buy, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, the new one, they only buy
Gen Alpha?
Yeah, it's
That's
like
the new...
the ones
What?
after Gen Z.
Like born
Those-
yesterday? Like, fuck. I've heard this for the first time. I didn't know this is a thing.
Yeah.
So you are old, my friend.
Yeah.
You are old.
Yeah, you're not the youngest generation
Yeah.
anymore. Gen Alpha is people who are in like 12th grade now who are going to go to college. So the next buyers. Now you guys are outdated. So we don't care about you anymore.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah. But yeah, so these guys, everything that they spend 90% of their waking up time on their phones. So everything that they buy is bought through social media. So why would you run any kind of marketing through anything else except for social media? So I think this is a market disruptor. I think this is where we're going to be at. Think about it. If let's say you are a tea brand who wants to start off in Bangalore.
Okay.
Do you have the funds for TV? Even if you had the funds for TV, is there any point in showing TV ads? Is there any point in having a PVR, washing powder, Nirma ad? No.
Nobody's watching.
The only way to market yourself is Instagram.
Yeah.
So that is an economy that has to be, and no one's been able to really capture it till now. There are one or two companies that are doing well, but no one's been able to capture the essence of that. So in fact, I think 1 in 4 Gen Z kids want to grow up to be a social media creator. Yeah, that's
There's
how,
a statistic.
Yeah, that's some survey that they're taken in the US, not in India, but that's how it is. So that's what I want to build. That's what it's already done. We've done 4-5 projects.
Okay.
Now we want to take on more brands, not just music festivals.
Okay.
So
this is Snack Media.
Snack. Yeah.
I like the name.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty.
We haven't
catchy.
decided the logo yet. We're thinking of doing maybe a half-eaten burger, like half-eaten apple is there for
Yeah, wow, that's nice. So what is so Snack Media is it's a platform where
Right now,
creators,
it's an agency for creators and brands where we find brands, and then let's say they need influencers to come and market it. So we'll get them the influencers.
Wow, it's an exciting space.
It's a very it sounds sexy,
Yeah.
but it's very difficult
Yeah.
because there are tantrums from both sides.
There are tantrums from both sides, and margins also I
Are
think-
not very high, but it's okay. I don't mind having minimal margins right now, as long as I can build something big out of it eventually.
It's crazy how the whole space is changing, right? Suddenly and then what? You have 10 seconds to sell something.
Exactly. What is the new attention span?
Yeah, maybe 10 seconds to sell
Not
it.
even 10. I think my Instagram videos, it's like 5 seconds and just suddenly
really?
drops. So I'm guessing it's 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you gain all these followers?
Ooh, interesting question. So I had started. I think I had a private account. So I already had like a lot of pending requests. I think I had like 4,000, 5,000 pending.
What? But
I'm a girl, right?
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Yeah, and I
still,
stayed in so many places. Studied in Manipal.
So there are
I knew a lot of people.
Okay.
So
and then you wake up one day and you just accept.
So then one day my friends, like, this is when there was TikTok was called Musically, if you remember. Yeah, when it was not banned in India. Yeah. So then my some flatmate of mine, he's like, hey, you should like maybe make it public and try it out and stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't want to lip sync 2 videos, but okay, we'll try. So that's when I made it public. And then I had like 4,000-5,000 followers. And then I made 1 or 2 videos, and I made some random dancing video with a friend of mine. She's really hot.
The authenticity of that. She's really hot. Just letting you all know.
Yeah. So anytime I make any video with, she's model for Sabyasachi and stuff. So she is very, and she's a DJ who's played in Berlin and Kit Kat and everything. Wow. So she's really good. So that video randomly in 2015, 16 maybe? 2017 hit like 1 lakh views.
Oh shit, that's a lot then.
Then it was a lot, right? Yeah. So then that's when I got a lot of followers. I got like maybe 20K.
Because of that video?
One video. Maybe from 5K, maybe it went to 15K. I don't remember exactly. One video. 1 lakh views that time was a huge thing, right? It went fucking viral. And then Clubhouse happened.
Oh,
and then I was very active on Clubhouse. Yeah. I had like 30,000 followers on Clubhouse only. So I used to be very, very active.
Like every day.
In COVID. And from Clubhouse, from I think 20K, it went up to almost 40K, 45K. that really helped. And then, Clubhouse really helped. I even found my ex-boyfriend on Clubhouse. Yeah. Anyway, so that happened. And then after that, I think I was at a 30K I think Clubhouse had helped me reach. 30K last year at this time. And then I made one video, which is a very random video, honestly. I have no idea. It was just like me turning around. And if that hit 4 million views, I have no idea why. So that hit 4 million views. And then I made videos with this mentalist guy who hypnotizes me.
Who's this?
His name is, I don't know if we just call him M because he doesn't want his name to be out.
Is it?
Yeah, you can, but if you see my Instagram, you'll see a lot of videos. People started asking me on the street, oh, you're the magician. I'm like, I'm not the magician, the other person is. And every video we did hit like 4 million, 5 million.
What the hell?
Like that. So then that's how from 50 it went up to 100 now. So,
and that has helped.
That has helped a lot. I don't know why I don't create more reels.
Yeah.
I've created like maybe 5, 6 reels this year.
That's not much. Like you can do so much more.
I should, because Instagram having this kind of following on Instagram has helped open more avenues for me. That is how it has helped.
So
really
would
helps.
you need it to help snack media as well? Or?
Yeah, always, right? I mean, how I got the current brands also is because people reached out to me saying, hey, can you work with our brand as a influencer creator? And I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll do it. But I have a list of 300 influencers. Okay. How about I get them to you? So that's how I've leveraged that to build
and
this.
So there's a team in place? Is that
there's a lot of stuff happening.
There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the core now?
Maybe. I'm also working today. That's why I was kind of busy. I was there the whole day. I'm working with this charity foundation. It's called Atmanirbhar. Very interesting. So this guy, he I don't know if I should say it, but he runs one of the biggest wedding photography companies in India. They did wedding photography for Ambani's, for example.
Oh, wow.
And he went to a government school, a state school, and his parents didn't have money. Mom didn't have money. He didn't have a dad. And he went to college and he was expelled in the first year because mom didn't have 300 rupees to pay the college. And from there, he built this. Now he stays in stuff like that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I'm sorry for doxing him. But so now he wants to he has started a charity foundation which helps these state government school students to have idols and stuff. So I'm helping them out full time also in a way. I'm doing that. I'm doing a couple of events. You must have.
Sure. Yeah.
You just spoke about
come across. Yeah, I think I want to jump to like a few other topics.
Yeah.
You know, and this is nice. I mean, I get where you're at. And it's nice. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what, like, this is the beginning of like a new phase, right?
Yeah,
that's what
exciting.
it is.
It's a lot of work. I think I have bags in my eyes
because of all of this.
But it's very exciting. I feel like I'll be able to. Last 10 years were amazing. I was able to help build something big. But next 10 years, I'm looking forward to even.
Yeah. And what's it been like with working on staying in like a state of mind that's more at peace? What do you do to stay more calm, and what are things to like just ground yourself?
Have you so there's this guy called Sam Harris.
Okay.
So he has an app called Waking Up. I use that to meditate, and I think that's kind of changed my life. So I would suggest anyone who wants to ever meditate, please go and do it. Please go and try out that app. I think the first 30 days are free anyway.
So you do this every morning?
I try to do it every morning. I do breathing exercises, breath work.
Okay.
So I do, there's like shamanic breathing, alchemy breathing. There are like 4 different types. You can, again, just search for breath work online. I think that also that helps me stay younger also in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm 33 right now, but I feel like people don't, I'm not trying to say it, but people think, oh, I'm 28, 29, like at least 3 years.
I was like more 26, like, I mean, honestly.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I think breath work
helps a lot.
Like, because you're putting more oxygen into your body. So that's
and all this came from like what?
Different things. Breath work came from these cacao ceremonies that I would go for. So they would make us
What's a cacao ceremony?
Okay, so cacao ceremony is where you all sit together and they get this cacao from some other parts of the world, and it's slightly hallucinogenic. And then you do breathing exercise, you do different things, you write whatever you're manifesting from the cacao at that time, and then you drink the cacao, and then you lie down and someone will play different audible instruments while you go into a meditative state. So that's
where do these things happen?
There's actually my friends run a hostel in Bangalore. I don't think they'll be doing it anymore because she just had a baby. It's called Bee Animal. Akhil, it's right in front of Akhil's studio.
And he just called us to his studio.
Yeah, so you should. But so they don't.
But what is cacao?
Cacao is the root of chocolate.
Okay, and what?
So there's a drink that they make out of it. Slightly, just very slightly.
Gives you like a buzz.
It just gives you, no, it's like a little high.
It's visual?
It's not visual. It's a very mind high. You'll just be like slightly more susceptible to whatever.
And it's all these rituals around that.
That is, the breath work is also getting more oxygen to your brain. So,
So some of these things have helped.
Yeah. So that's how I was introduced to breath work. And in Goa, during COVID, I was living in Goa for 6 months. So there we used to do these ice baths where you get into the ice. Have you heard of ice baths?
Yeah,
Wim Hof.
Yeah.
So we used to do ice baths, and once we would get out, we would do breath work again. So that's also where I got introduced to.
I think, it's really so important to keep time away for these things.
Yeah, as much as you can.
Yeah, as much as you can, honestly, right? Because I mean, I've not had like my fair share of experiences like you, but in what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've tried, I just feel like you need to prioritize some of these things, or else you will never do it.
Exactly.
And these things have the ability to just make you live a better life. It's real.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's helped you become calmer. Is that what it is?
It has, definitely. Meditation has changed my life. So Sam Harris says, if you don't have 5 minutes to meditate in a day, then you need to meditate for an hour. So meditation has changed me. I've become more, just in general, I've become, like today, for example, just before this, I was at another shoot for some restaurant.
Sure.
And the time was 6 to 8.
Okay.
So I told them I need to leave at 7:30 because I have to come for this.
Sure.
Right? And I reached at 6. Everyone reached at 7:30, and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," blah blah blah. But I didn't even get annoyed at all. I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay. I got my work done." So I feel like I've become like more accepting of whatever. That's their life, whatever they want to do. So it's.
We spoke. I mean, we don't want to get into the type of things that fucked you over in life,
right.
But there are things that fuck us over in life, and there are things that push us to the rock bottom.
Right.
And how do you look at some of these things now?
Oh, I am so grateful for everything that pushed me to rock bottom. It's only when you've hit rock bottom will you realize that there is a way up. And I feel that you should fail often, fail fast. And I think failure is so important. Yeah. Everyone I've met in my life who's done very well has failed incredibly in their life at some point. Because when you are at that rock bottom is when you're like, okay, I never want to go back there again. And that's what kind of drives you to like do more and more every day. So if someone tells me, hey, I'll let you go back in time and change something, nothing at all. I'm so grateful for all failures.
Yeah.
So, I know I'm sounding like a sadhu or something, but I actually mean it. I'm not just
I would
saying
agree.
It. Yeah.
I think once you've accepted things the way they are, and you've put in your effort to kind of keep going ahead, then you're okay with things that have happened because you've responded pretty much the way you had to some of these things. Maybe if you were not happy with the way you've responded to some of these things, then you would have regrets.
Oh, no, but I am not happy with how I responded to so many things. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's okay. I mean, that's how I was. And that pushes me to now respond in a better way. So I am, maybe 10 years later, I'm going to be like, no, why did you do that? But at least till now, I'm just like, I'm glad I did whatever happens.
And do you read?
I used to read a lot, not so much.
Not so much now. And it's because of the time that you don't have? Or
no, I don't know what happened. I think I used to read a lot, but I used to read a lot of novels, like fiction novels. So now when I've grown up and when I pick up a fiction book, I feel like I'm wasting my time. But I find non-fiction very boring. So I'm not able to, really find a balance in the middle. but I do read a little bit, but not
so much.
as much.
You have a big circle of friends?
I have a few friends
Okay.
I have friends. I have a big circle of friends, but I have a few close friends
Okay.
who I could like give my life for, and they are very instrumental in everything I am, because they've been there, and they've all my friends have been my friends for the last 8-9 years. So
What, really?
yeah. So
And they're all like, what, army kids?
no, none of them.
No?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
What? I thought that's the way.
Yeah, but no, but they're all from Manipal. So I guess something is there. But yeah.
And what's the scene like? I mean, how are things with getting married?
I'm 33, I'm not married. So
Tell me about that.
So my mom she's been trying since I was 25. And she's like, meet this guy, meet that guy, all that jazz. And that was there. But then I was living with my ex-boyfriend for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we never wanted to get married though. But we had a great relationship, blah, blah, blah. Then we broke up. Then I was dating someone, and then we broke up. So but I don't know. I'm very confused. But my parents have given up, so that's good
They've
news.
stopped asking you.
They've given up. They're like, okay, now let her do whatever. And
I think it's a confusing time to be in.
No, but it's also, I feel like we are the first generation that is leading this way. I meet a lot of people in my generation who are my age who are not married, and it's interesting because in my parents' time, my mom didn't have that option to not be married. But now my mom was also financially independent, but her parents would not listen to her no. But now I feel like this is the first generation so it's confusing.
Given the chance to say no.
Yeah. Are you married?
No. And I don't think I want to, at least right now.
Right.
Life's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just feel like just to say that there's this large amount of time I'm ready to just like commit to just like one more human being. I don't know.
Do you think you have to commit to someone, like time-wise? You could just comfortably live with each other, and they do their thing, you do your thing.
I think that should be the way.
Yeah.
See, again, right, I think it just goes down to how you're defining what you're looking for. But if someone's coming in your life with like preconceived definitions of this is how things should be, and those are not definitions that they probably believe in, I think that's a red flag. Like they should really believe what marriage means to them.
Right.
And if they're truly living up to that, maybe then it's fine to subscribe to it if you agree to it. Yeah. But if they're just coming in with definitions that have been like given to them, then I feel it's like a red flag. Might just not work out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, for example, for marriage, I can't imagine giving a lot of time because I don't have time myself. So, that won't work for me.
Yeah.
But why would I get married? So my mom's argument for why I should get married is when I'm 50 years old, who's going to... My mom's argument is my Nana, Nani ji, who are like 80, 90 years old.
They're there for each other.
No, my Nana now like helps clean my Nani's shit when she's not able to do it. She's like, who's going to clean your shit when you're 80? I'm like, what if I have to clean their shit? So I don't, but that's the only argument that I can maybe understand.
So you should get married so that you have someone to clean your shit.
Exactly.
But you can get help. Like you can have like a helper, like
but I guess like when you're half deluded, the helper will be like, "Fuck you,
fuck you,
go lie down in your own shit."
Imagine that guy's not getting paid enough. That's the problem. Marriage is confusing.
Yeah,
and I think times are changing, and I feel like we'll also be that generation who are going to be okay with finding new partners at 40.
Exactly. I think that's already happening.
Yeah.
So that's there. But I'm planning to get my eggs frozen.
Okay,
so
wow.
That's
crazy.
That option open if I ever want kids. And I think a lot of women are doing that as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, do you want kids?
Not right now, but I want to have that option.
There's this thing like I keep discussing with my friends. I'm like, at least for a man.
Yeah.
And I mean, people can let me know what they think about it. It's like this, right? In today's society, if you don't want kids, I don't think you should be married.
Really?
That's the first thing. Like if you don't want kids, you should just probably live with whoever you want for the rest of your life. You anyway don't need kids. But I feel like if you want kids, just because everything, the way schools work, the way everything else works, then it's maybe better to be married, to have kids.
Right, because of the social stigma that the child.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But if you don't want kids, and if you're absolutely sure that you don't want kids, then you know what? Just don't get married.
Yeah.
Like that's how I see it. And I've also gotten comfortable with
Being by yourself.
Being by myself, and considering that I can be married and divorced at some point.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah, the
that stigma
itch.
of that stigma of
stay with someone.
that stigma of, oh shit, what if I get divorced? If you get divorced, you get divorced.
It's like a breakup.
Yeah, it's like a breakup. You're just putting it on paper.
Exactly.
And somewhere, most people are scared of marriage because they don't want to be divorced.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm scared of marriage. Oh my God, I just had a realization. Wow.
Yeah. So, I have this very dangerous approach now that I'm going to get married saying I'm ready to divorce you. I'm just going to get
Are you
married.
going to make them sign a prenup?
No. I'm like, you know what? You want to get done with this like tomorrow, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Because at this moment, we both feel like it's working and we're in love. And if tomorrow one of us feel it's not happening, so be it.
Yeah.
I think somewhere that's going to solve something for me.
That's true.
But I don't know.
I told my mom that I'll go on divorce.com when I'm 14. So I'm going on marriage.
What, is that a thing?
I don't know, but I'll make it if it's not. Because, then that's easier.
Yeah.
But
I think it's better to be married and divorced than never married. That's the other thing.
Ooh.
It's better to be married and divorced than never married.
Why?
It's an experience, dude. Like, I feel like you should just go through it. And if you don't like it, get out of it.
Are you married and divorced?
No.
Okay.
I wish.
I like this one line you said, I don't want to be married. Next time you're like, I wish I was married. I'm not married and divorced. You're like, I wish I was divorced instead of... Yeah.
I think it's exciting.
Now it's like, no one's ever going to marry you. When he's just marrying me so that he can get divorced very soon.
The second one's going to work, right? Like, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. The first one, I'm like, I'm just going to get married anyway. Like, dude, how long?
I hope no girls are watching. Any potential love interests are not marrying.
I swear. Anyway, this was fun, Shilpi. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
I had a lot of fun as well. You helped me realize something, so that was good.
I think I realized a few things too. Probably said too much on this mic today, but this was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I think like I said, you're pretty wild.
I feel like we just scratched the surface.
Oh, there you go. They're dropping bombs every minute. But I think it's interesting, and I'm always inspired by people who jump off without knowing if they have the wings or not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I feel like you're just that type of girl who figures it out on the way.
I hope I don't end up like Icarus. Have you heard of Icarus?
No.
Flew too close to the sun, his wings burnt and fell down to the ground. The fallen angel.
Icarus.
Icarus.
I
don't know if I'm saying it right though.
No, I don't think that's the case with you. So this is nice. Thanks for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
It's always also nice to speak to people who don't have filters, right? That's probably one of our biggest goals with this space, that we just get to document stories the way it is, and fuck filters and fuck this and fuck that, because this is it. This is what it is, right?
But you made me feel really comfortable. I had a great time. So
I'm glad. And all the best with Snack Media.
Thank you for all my snacks.
I'm looking forward to who these snacks you're going to be signing up for.
Send some across your way.
Just let the first one know I'm divorcing her. But all the best with Snack Media.
Thank you.
And I'm happy that I think the other thing I also wanted to call out is the way your parents brought you up. Right? I always have like big respect for parents who give freedom.
Right.
I think parents do good and bad things, but I feel like freedom is really like worth calling it out. I just feel that.
Yeah.
And and this is the beginning. We always tell people that, this is not a one episode thing.
Right.
We'd want to have you back.
If you want to know more secrets, call me for episode 2.
Yeah, we'd want to have you back, and we would want to have you back speaking about other things, and
For sure.
both of us can figure out when that
I'll tell
should
you about
happen.
how I travel to a new country every month last year. Next time.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the hook for part 2. So thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was episode number 86. I must say, one of those episodes that was really like unexpected. Oh, by the way, the thing that I was saying, the impression I had of you, and
you never told me.
no, the thing that didn't, and you know what, I'm going to be honest about it, right? The thing that I went wrong with. One of the things that I wait to see is what's the level of pretense a person is going to have.
Right.
And I was really on the fence.
Okay.
Is there going to be pretense? Is there not going to be pretense?
Right.
And wow, like no pretense.
Yeah, people tell me that my social media profile is completely different from what I am.
It's not completely different.
No? Okay.
But
people expect me to be very cocky or something.
yeah, I think that goes with the accomplishments.
I don't know.
And maybe it's a stereotype that people just put you into.
Maybe.
And I'm glad that wasn't the case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Yeah, thank you. So if you all watched this episode and if you liked it, let us know. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.